Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. On today's show, Kyle Bauer visits with Mandy Fox, chairman of the board of Certified Crop Advisors. Then enjoy this week's Kansas Soybean update. Next, Duane catches up with Dean Bushey, global regulatory manager for Bayer Crop Science. Then it's this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update, and we'll end with Plain Talk featuring Kyle Bauer and Duane Toews. Stay with us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum. Growers working together. Find out more at kansasgrainsorghum.org.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Up first today, Kyle and Mandy Fox discuss the requirements to become a certified crop advisor.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer visiting with Mandy Fox. She is chairman of the board of Certified Crop Advisors. We know them in agriculture as CCAs. Let's talk, though, Mandy, about what it takes to become a CCA.
All right, so the requirements for being a CCA in the state of Kansas are that you sit for the state of Kansas exam as well as the international exam for certified crop advisors. You have to pass those exams, and then beyond that you have to pair that with 2 years of practical experience in the agronomic or biological sciences fields. And once you meet all those criteria, then you apply to be a CCA. Your application is reviewed, and you have some letters of recommendation that go with that, and then you sign a code of ethics, and then you are ready to represent the CCA organization.
But once I go through all of that, become a certified crop advisor, then there's still work I have to do to stay certified.
Exactly. We have a requirement of 40 hours of continuing ed for every 2-year cycle that you're a CCA. And if you don't complete those 40 hours, and there are specialized areas in each of those 40 hours that you have to meet, integrated pest management, soil and water science, crop management, then you have to sit for the exam again and recertify yourself.
You mentioned 2 different exams, both national and Kansas. They are not the same exam.
No, each state is required to write there's performance objectives set forth by the national office, and we are required to fulfill those, and each state specializes their exam to meet the crops that are in this area, the pests that we have, the water management issues that we have for the state of Kansas. And a lot of people will pass the international exam very, very easily. It's more general. The state of Kansas is very specific, and we do have a difficult exam because we have a very high level of expectations for our CCAs. And so we do typically have around a 40% pass rate of that exam, and we offer the exam twice a year in February and in August most of the time.
So truly, once someone is certified, they try really hard to not lose their certification.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to sit for the exam again.
It does. It takes a lot of studying on their part. And let's face it, once they're in the industry, they're going to be possibly in a specific commodity, but they're required to know all the things that you as a board have decided they need to know.
Yes, and there are areas that I don't work in very often, but I still have to sit for those specialized areas and make sure I get my required continuing ed so that we stay current on those things. That way, as a CCA, we can say that we offer a higher level of professionalism, knowledge, and when we make recommendations, we're giving very solid information to our clients that we're working with.
There's a national organization and a state organization. Can you give me approximate Kansas numbers that are certified crop advisors?
I'm not sure what our most current numbers are in the state of Kansas, but you can, if you're looking for a CCA, you may go to the CCA website, just Google that, and you can type in the area that you're looking in, and it will bring up a populated list for you of available CCAs that could work in that area for you.
We're visiting with Mandy Fox. She is the chairman of the board of the Certified Crop Consultants or Advisors in Kansas. This is Kyle Bauer reporting. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Folks, come back after these messages for this week's Kansas Soybean update.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways, of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app. or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
It's time, the Great Bend Farm and Ranch Expo, April 5th, 6th, and 7th in Great Bend, Kansas. 700 booths filled over 80 acres of exhibits. Dale Brisby, the 6th and 7th at 1 o'clock, sponsored by American State Bank. Find all your livestock equipment needs, precision tillage equipment at the Great Bend Farm and Ranch Expo. Free admission, free parking. Corporate sponsors American Hat Company, Great Bend Co-op. Go to starexpos.net. That's April 5, 6, 7. You don't want to miss it.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Hannah Thompson-Weeman, Vice President of Communications with the Animal Ag Alliance, joins us. And Hannah, coming up in the early part of May is the Animal Ag Alliance's annual Stakeholder Summit in Kansas City.
Yes, our Stakeholder Summit is returning to Kansas City for this year. We went to Kansas City for the first time in 2015. Usually our event is here in the D.C. area where the Alliance is headquartered. But we had a very successful first time hosting the event out there in Kansas City. We got a lot of different folks able to attend. It's a little more cost effective to go to Kansas City than D.C. So we've decided to return for 2017, and we're going to be there May 3rd and 4th for our event, which is themed Connect to Protect Animal Ag.
And what's the conference's main focus?
Our main focus is bringing together folks from all across animal agriculture. So every different segment, different commodities, different parts of the industry, whether you're a producer or processor involved in marketing or some kind of input supplier, everyone who has a vested interest in the future of animal agriculture, our objective is to bring that group together to talk about the pressing issues, hear from expert speakers, and ultimately we want everyone to leave with actionable ideas that they can immediately implement to move the needle for this industry that we're all very personally and professionally passionate about.
And a lot of it is communicating or engaging with those influencers, too.
It really is. Our whole mission is connect, engage, and protect, and that really follows through to the summit. And engagement is so critically important, and we're going to be talking about that at the summit. How do we engage with consumers? How do we engage with influencers like the media, dietitians, anyone who's really influencing the conversations about food? We all know the issues facing the industry and that consumers don't have a lot of background knowledge about animal agriculture. So it's our responsibility to step up, engage, and get the true story out there. And we're going to be telling our attendees how they can be a part of that.
And the Kansas Soybean Commission has a sponsorship in this and some involvement with it as well.
Kansas Soybean, we're very appreciative of their support of the Alliance Stakeholder Summit, both as a sponsorship, and Jancy Hall, program manager, is going to be on one of our panels, which will be about implementing an influencer tour. So she will join Megan Kramer from Kansas Farm Bureau, as well as a few producers, to share their experience with the group and their tips for putting together farm tours and getting people to see farms.
And I know there's an early bird deadline.
Yes, if you get your registration in by April 3rd, there is a discount. So if you're interested in attending the summit, we really encourage you over the next week to get your registration in before those rates go up.
And where can they go to do that?
Visit animalagalliance.org/summit.
That's Hannah Thompson-Weeman, Vice President of Communications with the Animal Ag Alliance. She joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more Farm Factor as Duane Toews visits with Dean Bushey.
This Medford, New Jersey school bus runs on biodiesel, and so do these. In fact, all of these buses run on clean-burning biodiesel, which is great because the more we use biodiesel in our heavy-duty vehicles, the less carbon pollution in our air. Think how great it would be if more of our school buses ran on biodiesel. More biodiesel, less carbon pollution. More is less. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Tarwater Farm and Home has been family-owned and operated since its beginning in 1978. What you need for farm and agriculture, lawn and garden, clothing and footwear, and so much more. You'll be surprised at what you'll find in this huge store. They have what you need and lots of it. So come take a look. You'll discover that customer service is first and foremost. Always has been with the Tarwaters. Tarwater Farm and Home, 4107 North Topeka Boulevard.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
It's time, the Great Bend Farm and Ranch Expo, April 5th through the 7th in Great Bend, Kansas. This is your regional expo held in the heart of Kansas. J.D. Wing Horse Clinician all 3 days, sponsored by T-Cross Ranch and Bobby Norris Realty. Bradford Cattle Dogs, Border Collie demos all 3 days. Live cattle, beer garden, 80 acres and 3 buildings of exhibits. Corporate sponsors American Hat Company, the Great Bend Co-op. Go to starexpos.net for more information. April 5, 6, 7.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Welcome back to Farm Factor. Let's join Duane Toews as he visits with Dean Bushey about the current regulatory environment for a crop science company to bring a new product to the marketplace.
Duane Toews joining you once again with Ag AM in Kansas, and an opportunity to catch up with Bayer Crop Science's Dean Bushey. And Dean, we think about the regulatory environment for a national, international company to bring a new product to marketplace. It's been challenging, and all the new concepts and ways that we do things maybe provide some opportunities for us as we go into the future years.
There's some new technology being developed that has a lot of opportunities that really depend on the regulatory issues that are around that come with the new technology. So if we can use these technologies and use them correctly, I think they can really advance the science. We can learn a lot. We can get some really fascinating products out of it. But we have to regulate these things appropriately. Now, I'm not saying not regulate them, but regulate them at the level that they need regulated, and not over-regulate them and stop the science, basically, which could happen.
We think about where we've come, and the genetically modified organism, or GMO, for the general consumer initially and for most had kind of a negative connotation, really due to mostly a misunderstanding of what was actually taking place.
Yeah, I think it was. And a lot of these new techniques were called plant breeding innovation, which really is looking at the plant from a breeder's point of view. There's a lot of things that breeders do today that we can do a lot better, a lot more precise and a lot faster and a lot quicker and a lot cheaper with some of these new techniques. So we're not doing anything different than the breeder did in the past or that is doing right now, but we can do it better. So we're saying let's not over-regulate these things. Let's treat them as a plant breeding technique, which is what it really is. GMO still has its place. There's things that would be still recognized as GMO, but there's a lot of things with the new technology that are out of that camp and are really just doing subtle changes, directed, intended changes that we know what's happening.
We think about what those plant breeders have done for generations and throughout time was to improve the end product that was the result of that cross. We're just able to do things differently now than we used to be.
Instead of taking a cross and then spending 5 years sorting out the thousands of different things that you get out of it and the traits segregating differently, we can now make that cross, and we can move that trait to the new plant specifically and only that, and very precisely. So what used to take years to figure out, we could get to the same place in a year or two now with the new technology. But again, we have to regulate it correctly.
And we think about those things, initially they were production-oriented in general nature as far as benefit to the producer or the crop farmer. Now we're looking beyond that and really looking at some of those opportunities on the end product for the consumer's benefit.
We call it the difference between input traits and output traits. So the output traits for the herbicide tolerance, insect resistance, which are mostly traits that are beneficial to the farmer. Input traits where you're changing the nature of making it more healthy, you're increasing the yield, you're doing things that really have a more advantage to the consumer itself. So yeah, we are moving, and the reason we're doing that, it was the other things were easy. They were one genes, it was easy to find, we could move that gene around. Now we have to understand the plant a lot better, and that's what a lot of these gene editing techniques allow anybody, all the university labs that couldn't afford it, and now it's cheaper, quicker to do. And you're going to see an explosion on what's known about how plants work, how the different genes translate into proteins, translate into traits. We really don't know a lot about that these days. We know about the genes, but there's a big gap between that and the trait.
Our thanks to Dean Bushey with Bayer Crop Science joining us with Ag AM in Kansas. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Come back after the break for this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update.
Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego is driven by the spirit of American ingenuity. Come in for a new Chevrolet car, truck, or SUV. If we don't have exactly what you want, we'll find it for you. And we also have a great selection of used cars. We make sure you have an easy, fun, and transparent sales experience that saves you time and money. But if you want high-pressure salesmen and hours spent in the finance office, you'll just have to go elsewhere. Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're making car buying great again.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan from Doc Talk. Have you asked yourself, how can I help provide relief to wildfire victims? Well, you can go to the Ashland Community Foundation, or you can go to the Kansas Livestock Association Foundation and make monetary gifts. Another way, you can buy this beautiful print that was painted by Dr. Eva Gardner of the Gardner Angus Ranch of Ashland and Clark County area before the fire. This painting will be sold through the Kansas Livestock Association Foundation, and all proceeds will be provided to victims of the wildfire.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Farm Bureau update.
Yeah, if you would like to donate to the fire relief efforts, a great place to start is our website at www.kfb.org/fire relief. And on there's several options. You can donate labor, hay, supplies, anything that you feel you would like to give to the effort. We will try to coordinate that the best that we can with those who need it. There's also a place on there to ask for help. If you are in one of the impacted areas, you can go onto our website and you can ask for help and tell us specifically what it is you're needing, and we'll find those resources the best that we can and get those out to you. For long-term help, really the best option for producers is cash. And, donating cash is going to help them fulfill the needs that they have in the weeks, months, and years to come, even as they try to start rebuilding fences, rebuilding herds, taking care of the cattle that did survive, all of those types of things that they need to think about doing. Money is really going to be a key asset to them as they start that process. And there's also a link on our website where you can donate cash, and that will direct you to the Kansas Livestock Association where they are collecting the monetary donations, and we've teamed up with them for that just to streamline those collections and distribution, later on when that time comes, so that money's all in one place and can be distributed most efficiently.
We'll be back after the break with this week's Plain Talk.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
I had this horse, it was a good horse, except for when the wind was blowing above 30 miles an hour. Wind was blowing about 35, 40, and I saddled him up, rode him out to the end of the lane, and I thought, well, he's doing pretty good. And about 6 jumps later, I was laying on the ground and thinking, boy, my shoulders sure hurt. I kept waiting, and it didn't get better, and so I went to orthopedic surgeon, and that showed that I had torn rotator cuff, and said, well, we'll have to do surgery. I thought, I farm and ranch by myself, this is not going to work out very well. I'd been sleeping in my recliner for about 2.5 years because it hurt too much to sleep in bed on my side. And I'd heard about Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center on the radio, and gotten down there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by 11:30 the procedure was all over. They just took some fat out of my side here and spun that down for about 45 minutes and then injected it in my shoulders, and I was on my way. It's something you don't hear about, but I thought it was worth a try, and I'm really pleased. It's really worked out well for me.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome back. Now let's see what Kyle and Duane are up to on Plain Talk.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk with Duane Toews.
Kyle Bauer, your fact or fiction question of the day. During the Victorian period in England, a seamstress to Queen Victoria, Prudence Powchester, invented the first padded bra the Queen Victoria wore and recommended to all of her female subjects. Fact or fiction? Now, I know you're not a connoisseur, but what do you think?
Connoisseur. Not sure that's the right word.
Yeah. Aficionado.
Okay, I don't think that the Queen would be telling folks that. I'm going to go with fiction.
It is fiction. The inventor and first merchandiser of the padded bra was an American man.
A man.
Go figure. So there you have it.
You know, we've been watching that show Downton Abbey that's on public television. It's about a large estate in England in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I have been surprised at, and it appears to be very historically accurate. I never see anything that I see as incorrect.
I wouldn't know if it was or not.
Well, but like the cars are really interesting because every time a car drives up, it's a different car. And in that era, there was many, many different car manufacturers.
Right.
And they were, and when the show started, it was around 1910. And now it's around the late 1920s.
Well, they've improved a lot.
Oh, they've, improved a lot. But anyway, my point is I have been surprised at how, I'll just say, dowdy the women's fashions were.
Well,
the men were very...
They hadn't gone through the big change yet.
Well, that actually was talked about in the 20s, roaring 20s and the flappers and that sort of thing.
Sure.
And some of that is brought out, but still the dresses are very plain and certainly don't show the shape of any woman. All the women are exactly the same shape.
I'm not really sure
no
how
shape.
You and I got on this topic other than
it's plain
where
talk.
I started with
that's how it works. We have no
idea. People are kind of
idea.
wondering, why do they talk about that kind of stuff? Why? Because inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, and we have no idea where we're
Who's
going.
inquiring?
And whether you want to know or not, it's completely up to you.
Absolutely.
World's largest producer of cauliflower.
Cauliflower?
Cauliflower, as in a country, not a company.
Oh.
Not a garden.
Okay.
What country produces the most cauliflower?
It's a coal crop, which means it survives better in cold weather.
That's a great point.
So I'm looking away from the equator.
That's a great point. You've got a method to your madness, even though it's pretty mad.
I don't... Who eats cauliflower?
Yeah, I mean, let's think of all the different restaurants you go to that they serve you cauliflower.
Not
a
it's on the
single
salad
one.
bar, and outside of that, I don't ever see it. I
Yeah.
don't really think it's an Australian kind of a thing. I'll say the United States.
United States is third. China is by far number one. India is number two. And oh, by the way, they're a lot closer to the equator than you said.
Yeah.
That's a bit surprising in and of itself.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor. We're here every Tuesday on Ag AM in Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.